Hello learners, welcome back to the channel. In the previous video, we talked about how we can manipulate this basic data for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division using the common symbols used for them. We used a plus symbol for addition, we used a forward slash and a star for division and multiplication respectively, we used a minus sign for subtraction. So today we are going to talk about how we can eliminate these symbols and use the predefined Excel functions. Excel has a set of predefined functions, more than 300 functions already present, which we can use in our daily lives. Instead of doing this, we can use a predefined Excel function. So let's get started. The first function we are going to talk about today is the sum function. So the sum function, as the name suggests, it adds a particular number or a range. So before going any further, I will just clear off these cells so that we can use it. So to type in a formula, we have two ways. The first way is manually typing that formula like this in the cell. So as you can see, there is a suggestion box coming under this. You can see there are these formulas already going by the name of sum. So there is a sum formula. I will go for it and I will press, I will type in a bracket. There it asks for number 1, number 2 and ... That means you can add as many numbers as you want. So here I don't want to add any numbers. I want to add the numbers in a particular range. That is, I want to have the total of this student Alexis Francis from C2 to G2. That is math, English, social science, physics and chemistry. I want to add these numbers. So I will give in a range. I will select it like this and will close the bracket and press enter. So it totaled the marks. As you can remember from the previous video that it was 399 only in the previous video as well, and the sum function is going pretty well. So I will just copy in the formula as we did in the previous video like this. So it calculated out all the values for it. And before this, you must have noticed this hash div /0 exclamation mark. This is nothing but a zero division error. You don't need to worry about that. We'll take it into the consideration in further videos. This is just a zero division error because since there is no value here, so it got no value here as well because there was cell referencing here. So it got a zero division error. So don't mind that. I will just copy in the formula from here again, and you can see the cells are beautifully repopulated again. So this was the sum function way 1. Another way to do it is, let me delete it off once again, is to click fx. This fx, as you can see this fx, I will just zoom in. I will just click in this fx function, and as you can see there is a pop-up window coming up here. I want to have a function. This is an insert function box. I want to have the sum. Here you can see the sum function. I will just select it, and it is asking for similar number 1, number 2, and I can add as many numbers as I want. Suppose I want to add number 34, 23, 44, 98 and whatever, 100. So you can do whatever you want to, add whatever you want to, but here I want to add just a range. This range, the range this C2 to G2. I will just select this range in this number 1 and will leave all the cells like this as only, and I will press in OK, and it will calculate me the sum for this. And as now I can do as we have been doing in the previous videos as well, I will just copy the formula down to the bottom. So you can see the formula calculated all the totals for all the students here. So this sum function can come in pretty handy when you have a large data set to handle, when you can't use a single plus and give a cell reference and again add a plus symbol. So that can be a very tedious task. Either you can just use this sum function and give in the range to add all this. Okay. Now we move on to another function, that is a count function. By the name you can very well guess that it counts something, right? And your guess is pretty much correct. It is a counter. It counts. So suppose I want to count the number of students appearing for a math exam. I will just go into this student count. I will press an F6 and I will choose the count function. See, these are the very pretty commonly used functions in Excel, so these are visible in this. If you can't find any function, you can just type in here, like I want to find count, and press enter. You can see this is count. This is the count function. I will select an OK, and again it asks for value 1, value 2, and so on if we want to count any number. So I will give in a reference again here from C2 to C11, and well, as you can see here, there is a preliminary result as equal to 10. That means within the range it counts, and there are 10 entries here. So I will press an OK, and it will print it out a 10 here. And as we are aware of this formula getting copied into a vertical fashion, Excel allows us to copy the formula in a horizontal fashion as well. So now I will just press in this click, will drag it to the cell where I want to. I will drag it till the chemistry part, because I want to know how many students appear for these 5 subjects in all. So here, as you can see, or rather if you are confused with why there are all 10s, I can show you. This cell C had a formula of C2 to C11, the range of C2 to C11. Within the row D, we had the formula of D2 to D11. Within the column G, we had the formula G2 to G11. That means the formula was very well copied in the horizontal fashion as well. So now we know that each of these 10 students of that class appeared for each of the every subject of the exam. Now we have another function in Excel which is called an if. Now what an if does, I mean in really life, in daily life, if the condition is true, do this, otherwise do this. This is what we do, right? If you are getting marks more than 80, you will get a toffee, else you will not get a toffee, right? So this is what we will do. I want to put some remarks under the students who are getting more than 75% marks. So what I will do is click in the FX, select if function, and here you can he is asking for three values. One is the logical test, the second one is value if true, the third one is value if false. The logical test is if the percentage is greater than 75. So the percentage cell is L2, right? L2 is the cell. So I will type in L2 greater than 75. This is the logical test it has to perform. And as you can see, the preliminary result shows that in the first cell, it is indeed true. 79.8% is greater than 75. Okay, now what it has to do is, if value is true, I will put in a remark of excellent. Okay, and if false, I will just leave the cell blank. These are the double quotes. That means that it will leave the cell as is. Okay, I will just type in OK, and here you can see it was printed excellent. And now I will copy this formula down to the bottom, and here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 5 students who got actually a percentage greater than 75. So this is where if comes handy. You can use it in many scenarios as well. I mean, if has a lot of function to do in Excel. So there are some hybrid functions as well, like a sum combined with if and a count combined with if. So these are particularly, I particularly like to call them hybrid functions. So there is a sumif function. Now what sumif function do is, it will sum the particular cells based on a particular condition. Suppose here I was having a percentage greater than 75, right? Now I want to add the marks. I want to add the marks of the subjects which are more than 70. Okay. Now see here, if in math, English, social science, physics and chemistry, I want to add only those marks which are greater than 70. So I will use the sumif function. I will just press an FX, I will select sumif, and there's this dialog box. It asks for a range. criteria, and a sum range. So the range the range is the range of cells you want to evaluate. You want to be evaluated. This is evident from the text it has written. The Excel has pretty much cleared it up. So I will give in the range of C2 to G2. Okay, and criteria would be greater than 70. I will add only those ones which are greater than 70. And the sum range, you can leave it as it is, because the sum range are the actual cells to sum. These are the actual cells to sum, so we can leave it as is. If omitted, the cells in the range are used. If we leave it blank, the cells in the range will be used. So we don't need to actually type in the values in sum range. I will leave it as is, and you can see the prelim result shows equals 334, and I will just press in OK, and here you go, it prints 334. And I will again copy this formula very wickedly, and here you can see this. Okay, so far so good. So we are off with sum, count, if, and sumif. The last function we are going to talk about today is the countif function. The countif function is again a hybrid function, as I like to say it. It is used to count with a condition imposed on it. So here, I suppose I want to count the number of students who scored more than 80 marks in mathematics. Okay, what I will do is I will just select countif from here, and given the range this, and criteria is I want to count the number of students who got more than 80% in maths. Right? I will just type in greater than 80. And here you go. Okay, so there are 6 students who got more than 80. Another way I can show you this for more clarity is conditional formatting. We will talk about it more in our later videos. So for now we'll just show you for the sake of accuracy. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 values which were actually greater than 80. So this is what countif did. Right, so the function, the formatting of the function countif is in that way only. Wait a minute, I need to clear the rules. Anyways, so now this function can also be copied in a similar fashion with the horizontal formatting here. So here I know there are 6 students who had marks more than 80 in the mathematics subject. There were 4 students who had marks more than 80 in English subject. There were 2 in social sciences, 2 in physics, and 4 in chemistry. So this is what countif does. It counts a number, it counts within a range imposed with a particular condition. So these were the 5 basic functions I wanted to talk about in this video, and I hope you like this video a lot. Because I particularly like working with these functions, and the next video will be much more interesting, and I will be sharing just the 2 formulas in the next video, and believe me, that is going to be really awesome. So till then you can play around with these formulas, play around, build your own data model and whatever you want to, and in the next video I will see you with 2 more interesting functions. So stay tuned for the second part of this video. Till then, au revoir.